Mm-hmm.
Are we live?
We're back, baby. We're
We
back.
are back.
We are back.
Hell yeah.
It's still pretty funny. We were talking about Elvis before this.
Yeah, so this song is generated by Suno, AI music platform. And just before this was generated probably 3 minutes ago or so. And we were trying to figure out what kind of vibes we were going for. JC, who's on the ones and twos back there, said Elvis. So I had to go prompt ChatGPT to say, what is the style of Elvis? And they said that it was an intro for the AI Lounge, and that's what it gave us.
That's right. Because we back.
We are back.
Because what'd you prompt it? Would you prompt like, "Hey, we're coming back from a hiatus," or what?
Yeah, we're coming back to the AI Lounge. It's VFM been off for a bit. So speaking of, we're back in the new space, the new studio.
Yep.
Came up. You had your open house
Saturday. Yep.
Yeah. How did it go?
It went good. I mean, we had, 20, 30 different people in and out. Great time, great conversation. This idea was from Terry because he was like, what if we let people just like try it out? Like just try out having a studio, like recording.
What's it like to sit?
What's it like to sit, right? Because a lot of people are like, oh, what would it look like? What does it feel like? All that. And so, we set up the cameras, set up the studios, and gave people like 5-10 minutes or 20 if there was no one behind them, like you and Darren.
Yeah. Oh, that was a great conversation.
Yeah.
Cam's partner, his son was here. He's 12, and we just sat down and talked about AI. He is a super genius eventually. Probably get on his way to be a super genius.
Dude, he's taking over the world, dude.
He will. Well, I think in a good way. He had some very great quotes in there as well. Very smart kid. That was a lot of fun. I think I talked to a couple people sitting down, so give people a chance to see what it feels like for them and like how great you can look on camera. I'm looking at myself on screen now. I look amazing. If you switches over to him, it's a little bit less. Yeah. Ugh. See that?
Damn.
Ugh. Sorry. Was that audible?
What a dick.
Yeah. So we're up in Napa now. Previously we were recording at your studio in Fairfield.
Yep.
And about what? How far is it from here now? 15 minutes over here?
No, it's
less than
10,
that.
It's 10 minutes. Something like that.
Yeah.
It's 10 to 12 minutes from the old studio.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't go there, like if you're just like on the freeway, it's like 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Additional, because you don't really have to
get off.
You don't have to like get off and like do all this other stuff. So it works out really well.
Yeah, it's a great little space up here. Also love being up in Napa whenever we can.
It's funny. Everyone that's coming here now is just like, oh, like I barely ever go to Napa, and I'm like, well, welcome.
Start making it a habit to come.
It's nice because we're on the edge of Napa.
Yes. Yeah.
We're not like, I'll be honest, if this space was in like downtown Napa, we probably just would have stayed at the last place.
Yeah, I mean, it's close to us. We're also really close to the really amazing golf course over there,
which we will be frequenting.
Yeah, golfing in the Vines, which is what is the name of that golf course?
It's called the Eagle Vines.
Eagle Vines.
And so, one of our partners here is actually going to be getting like a gold membership there, so that we can like go there and like play golf or like take clients there for meetings and things like that.
Cool. I have to learn how to play golf. I've not played at all, and I've embarrassed myself trying to swing a golf club a couple of times in front of some people. So
I have golf clubs. I just haven't played a whole lot since I left the East Coast.
Yeah. Cool. Hopefully that gives some people enough time. Do we have the chat open and running? I don't have a way of viewing that right now. Throw it up. Okay, cool. So for everybody who's joining in, we are here to talk about AI for business builders. We are all part of a community of people who are sharing what they're doing with AI and sharing the knowledge, producing fantastic results. We both believe that we're both sitting in front of a biggest shift in human history, and we're trying to find ways that smaller businesses or any business of any size really can start to leverage the use of these tools. And happy to like spread the word, share it. Also, since our last call, we did your event. Sorry, not last call, but our last show. We did your event and came and spoke at that, which was really fun.
Elevation experience. Yeah.
Elevation experience. Yeah.
You blew everybody's minds.
Well, it wasn't me. It was Claude. That was great. I actually, a couple people in there, Chaz, who's part of our group, in our group of the community, and obviously runs it with you. He was doing some stuff with AI. I'd been at that point, using a couple of weeks at that point, and how far he had gotten with using Claude was impressive. He's got his agents that he named the gods.
Yeah, he's been talking to me the last couple of days about Plutos.
Okay.
Who is his CFO?
Okay.
Because Plutos is like the god of like wealth and abundance or something like that. And Darren's like obsessed with it. Like at the open house, Darren was like, "Hey, is the guy here whose agents are Greek gods?" And I was like, "Nah, dude, he's not. He's in Florida, bro."
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. But like to me that sorry, let me mute myself here.
Bad Brian.
I'm joining so I can see the chat. There we go. I'm muted. Cool. And myself. Hello, beautiful. Great. Yeah. So it's impressive to see how fast people are able to pick these things up. I feel like that event inspired me quite a bit. I didn't know who I was going to be talking to kind of going in. Glenn gave me a really good heads up right before I stepped up to start filming and give the talk, and kind of was just winging it to see what people would pick up on. At this point, everybody's so new to this stuff and just where they're at technically or what we're able to pull off, but everybody in the group was able to understand these tools to a pretty good degree, I felt like, in that session, and we got really far, and I could see a lot of people, the gears turning for them, that they could finally do a lot of things that like what they're doing for the job. We talked about like how to use AI to edit things and do all kinds of stuff and send invoices for businesses and all that fun stuff. And obviously, since we've done our last talk, a lot of stuff has happened in the world of AI, so we're happy to answer anyone's questions, and we'll kind of dive through a couple of things. But it's been a while since I've heard from you on what you've been doing with AI. Quick question first: the flyers out there, JC thinks that those were designed by Claude. Are they? That are on the doors.
Claude design.
Yeah.
I can tell by the like the money, and then the money's like the money is the money.
We came to the open house. JC's like, I'm pretty sure that was designed by Claude, because it's starting to have a little bit of its own style now.
It is. It's having it. Yeah, for sure. And like, so, because they had given me a flyer like that they were gonna use, and I was like, "You guys mind if I like?" That's just the way it printed. Oh, right. It was the printer. Yeah. Because I looked at it again. I was like, damn. And I was like, because it did that on another one, and I fixed it. And so no, I don't know why when it printed, it cut it off.
Yeah.
So anyways, but yeah, when they sent me the flyer they had come up with, I was like, you guys mind if I like redo this? Because it's just like, this almost looks like too corporate-y. And they were like, yeah, whatever. And so like I redid it, and they were like, Will, this is great.
Yeah.
Especially obviously because I put like, hey, if you're here, you get a discount on our services, and it's like a little bit more color, and
yeah, it was great. It actually, I mean, I normally don't read anything, but it did catch my eye. I was like looking through all the prices, and I thought it was brilliant. So yeah, if you come here, we're in a I guess the beginnings of an innovation lab center here, and cam service here. The studio is offered through as an amenity to people who come through. And get an office here, which is
discounted
awesome.
Amenity.
Discounted amenity, yes, correct, yes.
Mino, what's up, dog? Mino's on the YouTube. He's one of our awesome clients. He was here actually earlier.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Doing some filming.
He's the one that I told you we did like 20-some videos where
cool.
We were just rocking and killing it.
Awesome. Well, welcome to stream. So, other than the flyer, what have you been doing with AI in the last? It's been a couple of weeks since we've talked. Are you still doing it as a daily driver with Claude? Are you upped your usage, back down your usage?
Back down usage only because I just been so busy.
Okay.
And that's like, moving studios, putting on the events,
Mhm.
like I'm much like the carpenter when it comes to our business. So like, as you know, you can't be clodding while you're like painting and doing all those other things. Well, you can technically, but
I do.
either way, yeah, I'm sure you do.
I do.
And so, but I've been starting to get like back into it. So for instance, like one of the things I did this week was reconciling my books up until now for the new year.
Yeah.
So I made a QuickBooks developer account so that I could get an API key because
Okay.
you can't do it without the developer account,
Okay.
which has to be approved by QuickBooks.
Okay. Yep.
Did all that,
Mhm.
got it connected.
You did it, or you got Claude to do it?
Both.
Okay.
Claude did about 90% of
And
it.
you just-
I did the other 10%.
Okay.
Because initially I tried to do it. It was like, oh yeah, just do it. And then it was asking me like weird questions. And I was like, bro, just do this.
Yeah.
Like just take over my browser and like do it. And so what up, Josh? My boy.
Yo.
Josh is here at the open house as well. Him and his wife were the last ones that were recording. His wife and his daughter were recording in here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we've known each other for 20 years. We were at Travis together back when we were first joining the Air Force.
Oh, cool.
Mhm.
Very cool.
And so and now he's back here, and then I'm retiring from back here. So
Yeah.
it's pretty funny. He caught me in the pharmacy on base the other day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, what's up, man? And I was like, oh shit. And so
Getting him into the fold. Nice.
that's right. And so, but yeah, so I had Claude help me do that, connect it, and then
You said reconciling your books through QuickBooks.
correct. So
Yeah.
so once I had it connected, QuickBooks only allows currently read access,
Okay.
which is fine.
Sure.
Because then what I had Claude do actually the night before last was create the code line, the command code to now like actually use Playwright and then categorize all the stuff
Okay.
because it can't do it through the API. But
Okay.
this is the first time though, and you might have some insight into this. This is the first time that it's had me do like it was like, hey, put this code into a command line in its own terminal window.
Oh, okay.
And so I did it, and then it like it almost went like way faster. It like opened up Playwright, like was like clicking on stuff, doing stuff, and then it was like, and then it produced a 2-line log, and it was like, one successful, 0 and 1 failed, and it was like and it told me, it said I literally just need you to copy and paste what the output was. So I kept copying and pasting it because it was taking a screenshot of whether it was successful or not or why.
Right.
And so it was like,
Yeah.
so through the command lines, it was going back and forth until
Gotcha.
eventually it worked. And then it was like, okay, if it worked, tell me and I'll go live. And so I went live, and then it like opened Playwright. It took like five minutes, but like it navigated itself perfectly.
Yeah.
And then it only missed out of 30 something categorizations. It only didn't categorize like 4.
I wonder why it missed.
I don't know why, but
Yeah.
then it was like, so I told it, so I put the output, and it came back and was like, okay, now put this command line back in this
Yeah.
one, and then it finished the
Yeah.
other 4.
Well, it's good that you're checking to make sure that it's doing it correctly.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
to be honest, it told me to check. So
Yeah, because I feel like what you're saying there, it should have been able to do it. Was running the scripts. I also did something very similar. Obviously, tax season coming around, and I was like, all right, let's go find all my expenses and stuff.
Yeah.
And
So I did that too before. I
Yeah.
had to run through all my emails and find. What that was interesting though, because what it did initially, and this was months ago, obviously, was like it would find the information and then it created its own template for the receipt
oh, I remember you telling me this. It was like its own visual.
instead of
like-
actually
the receipt.
downloading the legitimate receipt. And then
Yeah.
when I asked my tax person, they were like, it has to be from the vendor.
right.
I get that it's all the same information, but
Yeah.
and I was like, damn. So
Yeah.
then at that point, I was like, if you can't download it, take a valid screenshot of it
Mm.
and then put it into the folder. And
Okay.
So then it started doing that.
Yeah, yeah. And my method for that, like I had it pull down, I used Playwright, but it pulled down all of my finances across all of my accounts. And then I was like, go through and find anything that could be listed as a business expense.
Okay.
And then similarly with like go on my Amazon business account and find things on there that, because your charges are not going to come through as what those items were, right?
I
So then I would
fucking
go
hate
through
that,
those.
bro.
Yeah. but I had to go through all of those things and find stuff that would be valid, like business expenses. And they did a great job. I found a bunch of stuff that I hadn't even thought of before, or things that I like, oh yeah, I forgot that I had done like a purchase of that thing that I wouldn't have grabbed, you know?
I had forgot that I
Yeah.
spent $2,000
Yeah.
on this.
No,
computer.
I mean, like even stuff where I was like, oh, I went to Home Depot to buy stuff for the office, and I hadn't even thought about like
Correct,
checking
yeah.
those sources, you know? So,
Yep.
and then obviously then wanting to get a system in place that does this ahead of time. And this year my taxes were very complex because I was part of a multi-billion-dollar acquisition that
Yeah.
then came with like equity and stocks that they're on the stock market. But that was so confusing that when we were going through that transition, that everybody who's in the room is, again, there's like all these people work in AI, and we're in a big room, and they're all trying to explain like how our equity different
It's a
gets
whole-
paid out and
it's-
which
it's a vibe, dude.
it's so crazy. And I was in like a very sliver bucket of like only some people qualified
Yeah.
in this thing, but AI was able to make sense of all that for me because I've never been through this event before.
Yeah.
So I didn't even know what to look for, and it did a great job. But my strategy is initially what it was doing is was trying to go through and read the accounts from, like, log into the bank account and go through the transactions. I was like, no, I want you to download all those transactions, because the idea is pull them onto your machine, let
Like
Claude
the
code.
CSV,
Yeah, the CSVs of all those, or PDFs, or whatever it can get his hands on, and then we're gonna pull all that data in. So I have all the data that then Claude can go through on subsequent rounds, and figure out additional things, even to the point, I know that you've done stuff for having to go through and say like, oh, are you behind or late on deliverables to clients, or like where could we improve on this, or like what invoice, and like how to do multiple rounds of that, and was able to find so much. And then I also was able to say, here's your net profit, okay, here's what our expenses are, like let's keep finding expenses that can keep lowering what your costs are. It's crazy. And then even other things I've just done, my parents are looking at moving up here to the Bay Area.
What?
Yeah.
Mr. and Mrs. Pirate, what's up?
Yeah, the Scallywags family moving up. Yeah,
Scallywags fam.
yeah. So they were sent a very massive contract for talking to a builder right now, doing a new build over here, and we're sent like fucking like 50 different contracts or something like that over on a Sunday, and was like, we need you to sign and send over your earnest deposit and all that stuff. And I was like, just send me that stuff.
Yeah.
I dropped that all into Claude. I had it research and go through everything, find all of the red flags. And this took a while because my dad, who's using ChatGPT, ChatGPT is not going to be as good at this kind of a thing because it doesn't have this, building files and building things that it can do. But it went through it, found a bunch of red flags, just things that they need to discuss. And then I also asked it to go through and find everybody who's involved in this transaction, and like who's the insurance company or all this stuff, and like
give you a breakdown.
And tell me their reputation. Go research them online. So
that's pretty dope.
Yeah. And like some of them came back questionable, some of them came back great, and it was like, hey, they're actually under a lawsuit right now for this thing that could happen with you. So you just kind of, it allows, I think, you to have a little bit more ammo to go into these. Yeah, it is, which is also important of like why you want to keep your your business reputation high now.
Yeah, I had so recently I had my Claude go through my entire relationship with one of my clients.
Okay.
Because this particular client, sometimes we just don't seem to be on the same page.
Right.
I personally felt like it was their fault, but as I try to be as impartial as possible. So I said, hey, go through our history, let me know where I'm failing, this whatever. And it like went through all our Outlook emails from the day he first emailed me to our high level conversations and all that stuff. And it like, cause our contract had ended.
Right. Okay.
And so it was time to kind of let him know, hey, things that the contract had ended, time for things to adjust back to a different way.
Right.
And so and it helped me draft up a very well structured email, accountability wise, as far as like where things didn't align. And that was helpful for me because especially as a business owner, I don't always agree with like the client's always right type stuff. Like sometimes there are just clients that aren't easy to work with.
Yeah.
And so, but as a business owner, you're like, I want to make sure like I'm not failing a client.
Of course.
And so it's been helpful in that as well with me to hold me accountable as a business owner to make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing for the betterment of like my business and helping people from a customer service aspect.
So can I ask, did it find anything that it felt like you could do better on your side too?
No.
Oh, you're perfect. Okay.
No, like, I mean, it had mentioned like the things that I had done, but I'm very big on like taking accountability. So like if something's late or whatever, I'm very big on like, hey, that's our bad. We're going to fix it. We're going to make it. And it said that it's like, hey, these times that you know, in essence failed the client, you made it right. And even with this, even with this, this particular client, just like, it's just not easy to work with. And in the way that the conversation is going, it's not a collaborative conversation.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Those are usually the clients that sometimes keep you up at night, or like they're the,
yeah. Well, it's the classic, not all money is good money.
Yeah. Of course.
And it's and I think a lot of times as a small business owner, you have to sometimes come to that realization, like, hey, sometimes there are clients that you just really shouldn't be working with.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
And it's hard, but once again, it's like, but I understand that it's like, but I got to keep my business afloat. So sometimes I got to do this stuff. And you're right.
Yeah.
But when you reach a place where you don't have to do that, you don't have to do that.
Yeah. I think, in business, you're always going to have difficult conversations, especially around contracts. It's usually that hump you have to get over. And then once you're kind of going, typically, I've always noticed for a lot of stuff that I've done that contracts mean one thing, and then what actually happens in the day-to-day, sometimes you have to be a little bit flexible, but with how clients perceive things, just to keep things going. But another like conversation I was having with somebody else in our community, they're using AI to like draft those difficult conversations.
Yeah.
Applying things like, for example, Chris Voss, who's a FBI negotiator.
Yeah. I've read his book.
Yeah. But
never split the difference.
Exactly. Right. Daniel Pink, who's about persuasion.
Yep.
And so combining those with about a half
I've taken
dozen
his
others.
lessons on Mastermind or
Masterclass.com. Yeah.
So when you ask, how did you do that?
Yeah. Cam's pulled off some crazy things on him. Like, what's going on? All right. Where are we? Yeah. So like feed that in and say, like, this is what we're after. Like, here's the objective. Here's the thing. Writes a incredibly well-written email, and the responses have been very positive on his end. And he was also showing me kind of behind the scenes a little bit of like people who were in his business, in his company, who were, firing off emails that like, this could be resolved if you just wrote a better email, or like you're just saying like, please see contract line, whatever, instead of like a nicely drafted thing. Like,
correct.
And you can still be firm and still and be nice and still, So, yeah, I mean, I think for business owners, as part of it, I don't know if I talked to this on the show or not, but I was down in Santa Barbara, not this last time, but previous time, and I bumped into a photographer, and he was like, we were talking about AI, and he was like, man, I feel like I can't fail because I have AI. Like if I need a contract negotiations, I just rely on AI to help me through those things. Which is kind of, it's interesting, I think.
I mean, it brings a lot of stuff to the table that people aren't. It also like makes things more realistic. And what I mean by that is, especially when you're dealing with like collaborations, partnerships, contracts for services, right? People always have a preconceived notion of what that monetary amount is, what that percentage should be, what this should be, right? I really enjoy using Claude to say, what is industry standard, or what does the market I'm currently in look like?
Yeah.
Because then it's no longer what Cam thinks.
Yeah.
It's just like a house. What does a realtor, or what does a appraiser have to do? They have to look at all the comps in the area that validate the cost of that property at that current time. And I think that's personally one of the leg ups that I have gotten, especially in the media space, because there are a lot of guys first starting out who by all means have to get whatever work they can do. But unfortunately, that ends up messing up the market sometimes, because then it gives people an idea of what something should cost, and that's not what it should
You
cost.
mean like a race to the bottom kind of a
Is there,
feel,
yeah,
right,
and you know,
yeah.
and so it messes up the market.
Yeah. Interesting.
It's like selling a house for $100,000 in a $600,000
Yeah.
area. It didn't work.
Yeah. No, do research though on it, or you just ask it like based on its knowledge?
No, I have to do research.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
And then I like get like show me where, like go pull
Yeah.
local web. So for instance, you know, I researched the studio. I was like, hey, I want you to like bump L3 up against every other studio in Northern California / the Bay Area.
Yep.
It looked at websites, it looked at booking, it looked at pricing, it looked at social media presence, everything. And it was like, you know, here are direct competitors who kind of compete.
Yep.
Here are people who are like, you know, noteworthy mentions, and like here are people who like, based off everything I found, like just aren't even in the conversation.
Gotcha.
And it was like, you know, and realistically it came back and it was like L3 Media is the cream of the crop. But in order to stay there, here are the things you need to make sure you're really focusing on.
Right.
You know, and it gave me, and it was like, hey, here's the things you're winning at. Here's the things you're not winning at. Yes, you're doing great. Yes, you're at the top of the food chain, but you won't stay there if you don't fix the things you're not good at.
Right. Yeah. So not only is it doing the research, but it's now coaching you.
It's now coaching us. Yeah.
Yeah.
From a analytical point of view.
Right.
Not this is how we feel. This is how it looks. These are the numbers.
Yeah. We're going through for one of our projects. We've got an all-in-one construction app that we're piloting right now called ErectOS. If you go to erectos.ai, we'll have a new setup here pretty soon. You know,
I'm looking forward.
You get
to
it up
seeing
fast. Buildings get up faster. You can get it up fast with ErectOS. So, funny enough, I mean, that's a thing about branding as well. You know, having a bit of a disruptive name works, and all these guys in the I came up with a different name that I thought was a little bit easier and more palatable. And the team wanted to go with ErectOS. The first meetings we had, we were pitching somebody, and they didn't get past their firewall to like their business firewall. ErectOS was blocked. So we had to give them a different URL that they could go past that would work. So I was like, great guys, this is what we have to fight with.
I thought you were a naughty website.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, doing the market research on that industry, because I don't know anything about construction. I come from the software world, so I was doing a ton of research. And what are the competitors? What are the features that we have? Because I didn't build this platform. I'm advising on the build, and getting my hands dirty a little bit, but it wasn't my concept. And you know, was able to find all of that information. Here's who you're competing with. Here's what they're currently doing. And it's like, you know, what is the incumbent right now? It's a, you know, I forget, it was either $12-20 billion company like that, and this is what they charge. Here's how they do it, and this is why people don't like it, and here's what you have. But also like all the other options that people have, what do they use? It was really great to have all of that information. One thing I thought would be kind of cool to share. So ChatGPT just came out with their new image model.
So perfect segue. I was going to tell you about this, and you just reminded me. So we just went to Japantown, Cherry Blossom Festival in Japantown, and Net found, you know, she's like, you know, you see pictures like, hey, buy this postcard, whatever have you, right? And obviously, like, I don't want to pay $20 for this postcard that I can make myself.
Yeah,
so
right.
Net came home, freaking found pictures on the internet that she liked, went into chat, was like, hey, these are the concepts that I like. I want you to you know, create these photos. And it created them. And then she was like, what's the best size for me to print these out to where they hold quality? And it was like, print them, you know, 8x8 or 8x10. She printed them out and they like
look good.
They look great.
Yeah.
They're like framed in the house now. One of them was one of them was a picture she had found, and it had a it had a watermark on it initially. And then she's like, no, I want to change some things. And it was like, oh, okay. And so like, you know, because she changed things, right? But it's like, but at this point,
oh yeah, we have stuff on our wall in our son's nursery that is of our dogs, and it's like they're little like characters of themselves.
She did that.
Yeah,
and printed it out.
Yeah,
they're like smiling, and I was like, oh, like we have 4 pictures of Sailor Moon now in our kitchen. I was like, apparently our family loves Sailor Moon.
JC, if you want to go ahead and switch over to mine, I was going to show off a little bit. So I was messing around with it. Thank you, sir.
Man, look at
Um,
those great scenes by JC, big dog.
Scenes by JC. So like one of the things we were working on a brand, the Erector West brand, and one of the guys was like generating a bunch of logos for it. It's like, what kind of logo do we want? And I was like, okay, if we're at this point, I need to start explaining. You know,
TV when
yeah, I need to show them like how brand identity works, right, at a proper scale, and so we can scale quickly.
oh, right outside the door,
So
like the main door.
when you're building like a logo and you're doing like brand identity, your brand has to scale to all of these types of use cases, right?
That's cool.
And it's oftentimes like very difficult to explain this or show this. So in just one, and you'll see the preview here is off because I think my little app is my ChatGPT app is being weird, but you see a visual grid of all the ways a brand identity needs to work: logo plus word mark, stacked, horizontal, favicon to billboard, right? So I wanted that just to explain that to my team, and it just came up with this brand here, which I didn't want to use like an Erector West brand because I didn't want to have that conversation of like, well, is that the brand we should be using? I just wanted to show like this is what a brand can be, so that they're disconnected from it being the brand that we're using, right?
Yeah.
So you can see how a brand can now scale if you do it right. And what you need to have is a logo that works left and right, stacked on top of each other, left and right, without it. This one's actually a little bit weird here because it's just showing the it should have been, yeah, I would actually nix this one right here. But you can see what an app icon looks like. You could see what website looks like. And this was one prompt. And this is the new ChatGPT image model is supposed to get text right. And
oh yeah, because it's always
yeah. But that's like actually been really difficult. We've seen scenes where people are able to be like, give me a book cover of this like book. Like there's Good to Great. I saw that. I think you have it in here somewhere around here. But like I saw online, somebody said, produce an image of Good to Great. It actually had the barcode on the back. If you scanned it, was actually the barcode for Good to Great. And it could generate like the QR code inside of the image immediately. Yeah. I wish, where's JC? You can show your face. Your face is up there. Okay, great. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Keep your mouth open like that.
Yeah. So you can do these like kind of crazy things now. And it's like, wait a second. That's crazy. So
this is why you don't cancel your ChatGPT.
Yeah. Well, they're always pushing the limits. Yeah. So you can see here again, this is brand identity. So all the way across, like what your business card could look like, your letterhead, the envelope, the packaging, your merchandise, a brand pattern.
Jonathan, if you're watching, this is a game changer for you, bro.
Who's Jonathan?
He was at the event, remember?
No.
Skinnier black dude. He's in the right side.
Jonathan?
Maybe he didn't talk very much. Jonathan Richardson.
Oh, the event. I was like, the open house.
Yeah. No,
sorry.
Not the open house. No.
Yes. Of course. Okay. Yeah, I remember. Okay. Yeah, but like, look how this scales. Like even to like a van wrap, right? Like, what does that look like? And I've been through so many brands. One thing that's missing in here is an event. Like, I've been part of so many
pop-up thing.
Or like, if you're going to do a giant event, what does it look like? What's a pop-up look like? What does it look like if you? Because Cameron and I actually met at an event sitting next to each other, and I just had my little like printed up flyers, and I think you probably did at the time too. But like, what is the Scallywag brand?
I had a monitor. I had a bunch of stuff.
Did you?
Yeah, I owned Brian. He was like, "Hey, look at these cute flyers," and I was like, "AI my ass."
But like now you can visualize that. And for example, when I worked at Ways and Biases, we're putting on events, and there was like, what does our landing page for the website look like that also matches with like the experience of when you walk in? And this is what you do at like big levels with brands of that size, right? It has to scale to everything so you feel like it. And
it's gotta be like encompassing.
Yes. I just watched a interview with Seth Godin. He's like the famous marketer, and he uses an example of like, if Hyatt Hotels was to create shoes, you wouldn't know what you couldn't have any idea what the shoes would look like in your head, right? But if Nike were to create a hotel, you could probably start to visualize a little bit of what that hotel would look like. And that's because Hyatt has a logo, not a brand, versus Nike has a brand. So a brand goes well beyond this is just the visual identity of this. And so this was like, as I was texting my team, I'm like, I'm going to give you guys a master class in branding really quickly, as much as I can. And I can share a little bit with here, because I think I've talked about some of the stuff on the show before.
Yeah.
Of like how you want to really.
That's a really good like example.
The Nike
like,
thing.
like the Nike and the
Yeah.
Hyatt thing, right? Because
Yeah.
you're right. Like Hyatt has a logo.
Mhm.
They don't have like a brand.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a brand is more than just
But if like
visual.
Hilton
right.
made a shoe, I feel like they've got more of a brand than Hyatt in my mind. But I like Hilton. That's probably why.
I mean, I would
It's
say
still not as good.
think about like if Apple came out with a shoe, probably a little bit more, right? If those kinds of companies,
It'd just be
or
like
Google,
it'd be like a Nike
or-
Air Force One, but like in the shape of an iPhone.
or, yeah, it'd be all smooth.
It'd
like,
be all
it-
smooth and
yeah,
shiny.
Yeah, very few things, very minimalist, right? But you could visualize that, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing you
It
want to
would
have.
yell at you when you don't walk enough every day.
Yeah. So take a look. Then I went down this and I was like, okay, now let's talk about like how do you apply a brand's tone of voice, right? And so you can see here again explaining this to a team that like a brand's tone of voice is something that scales up and down with who you're talking to, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's always the same, but you're going to have a range that you're going to communicate in, right? There's going to be times you're going to maybe be a little bit more playful. There's times when you're going to be a little bit more professional. And when do those things apply? And what does that look like? And again, you're just what you're trying to do is like match your brand voice to your company, to like what it is that you're doing, all of that. So I was able to create like, for example, customer support, you're going to be much more on the friendly side, right? When you're talking to people. Social media, you're going to do something a little bit different over here. And by the way, these prompts that I was using were very minimal. And so it was just kind of like basing this off this outdoor brand or whatever. So you could now start to see and visualize, okay, imagine every brand needs to have something like this, these guides. It's also great to build these things because you want these as assets and primitives to your company.
Yeah.
So for whatever company you're working on, you should be like, L3 Media needs to have this.
Yeah.
Right. And how do we show up in these? Because if you feed that into AI, when it's now producing content for you, it can now sync up with like, well, let me go see what our tone of voice is or whatever. Right. So it's like that whole
Glenn project.
Yeah. It was also creating much stuff. And I'm not going to show all of these. I'll just kind of quickly go throughs, but then see if there's any interest. And then, here's one probably a little bit harder to see online, but how to apply the brand across all sales and marketing channels. And so then you could start to see like, oh, how does it show up in social media? Like, how does it show up it actually, can I just zoom in on this? Cause this is actually like pretty crazy. So now we could go over, it's low quality, unfortunately, but it's creating these assets for you. So here, now you can see what is Northridge, this made up thing. What does a booth look like at a trade show for you? Right. And it doesn't mean that this is what it's going to be when you get to that trade show.
Of course.
But it gives you the ability to say this brand scales and scales cohesively. And it scales in a way that I can see, the same visual identity or the same look and feel, all the way. Yeah. All of this stuff. And
I've been telling people like, get out of the mindset of that, like AI is going to build everything for you per se, like 100%. Like, it's the 90% solution that allows you to free up capacity to perfect it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's kind of like that's kind of how I use it, right? Is like, I'm gonna let it get me 90% of the way so that I don't have to think of the other 90%. So I can concentrate my 90% on the 10% to make it like that much better.
Yeah. I think it's like, it shouldn't be an autopilot. You should still be like, this is the Skylar thing. Like
I think that's how people think about it though. It's like, they're like, oh, AI is just going to do it for me. And I'm like, in retrospect, you don't want it to do it for you.
Yeah.
Like, it's like we were talking about with the flyer, right? Like when I first made the flyer, it was like cutting stuff off or like had different fonts. And I'm like, bro, like, what's up?
Yeah. Fix that.
Fix that. Or like, hey, I don't like, at one point I put like a big space in between stuff. And I was like, hey, minimize this space, equal out, but it came up with the 90% solution that I just made refined. And then it was great.
Yeah. And think about it in terms of like a lot of stuff that we're having it do. There's not really a correctness to it. When we're programming and we're building like apps and stuff, there's a literal like, does this feature work or not work?
Yeah.
How you build that feature though is also like there's in programming a bunch of different ways to build it. Same with like do a flyer. When I say do a flyer, like that could be done so many different ways.
Yeah.
Building a brand. None of this stuff is like this that I'm showing here with the brand identity and stuff is requirements. It's just like, this is how I want to do it. Correct. This is how this should be done. Follow my system, follow this type of a thing. So that way it can be a guide to getting closer to what it is that you want, just like leveling it up. Because it's also a lot of these AI models are designed to like reduce their token usage, and so they're just one-shotting stuff or whatever. So kind of create this like ecosystem that you
Yeah.
can survive in. Here's another thing, and I'll only maybe
Well,
go
if you
through a
look
couple more.
online, they're built to actually increase their token.
Well,
use.
yes, that the companies are maximizing the token use. The models are like,
yeah.
so this is actually something that came out while we were offline the last couple of weeks. Token anxiety is a thing that Anthropic found. So what they started feeding into the messages that go to the model to respond was how many tokens that you've used. Before it didn't know that. It didn't know if it was getting the end of its tokens. And we were at 200,000 tokens before. Now we're at 1 million, right? And then
Yeah.
but I think even before then, they started feeding into the model knowing that it was going to be done. The model didn't know anything about like, I'm running out of tokens or whatever. So it started doing the stuff that you see. We were building things with like, I'm done, but you're not really done. It didn't really work. It's like, it's anxiety over I'm using too many tokens. But I'm like, who the F cares?
That's
Just
where
start
that
going.
came from.
Yeah.
I was wondering, I was like, why does it keep telling me it's done? Like,
Yeah.
bro, I'd be like, you're obviously not done.
Yeah. Yeah. And they found that with like, because as you're using these models, and anybody out there who's working with like Claude or whatever, you'll get to that point where we've talked about before, the compacting, where it'll do that. That still didn't solve or alleviate the problem of token anxiety.
Oh shit.
And so this is again where maybe you have to build in some guardrails or some prompts to tell it to keep going, like don't worry about this stuff, and kind of what I was now called like harness engineering, which is like building around your harness around the AI to do what it's supposed to do. But yeah, that was like, I don't know. I thought that was really interesting, and it actually goes back to a lot of the initial AI that was built. It was built like learning how to play video games, but they didn't even tell it what it was supposed to do. It would just go into the video game and be like, oh, I see a score counter, higher is better, I guess, right? And so it would try to like figure out how to like game that system to go to get more points. Or if it had a health meter, like health is less.
Yeah.
So same with context, right? It was like, this context seems like I'm running out. Like if somebody just kept telling you like every time you said something, you're running out of like,
You'd be like,
I should probably not. I gotta be careful here, right? And so that was like, like an interesting.
So have you had to solve for that?
I solve for it in different ways.
Okay.
So like for example, I run a high level orchestration agent. So like that's just doing a very dumb thing, which is like start the next agent. So it has like a list of all the stuff it's supposed to do. It checks to see like, okay, what is the next agent supposed to do? Okay, spin up that agent. Did the agent do what it's supposed to do? Good. Start the next agent and do that. But each agent has its own context window. So I'm not like maintaining that context anxiety along the main thread. So each one is starting a new thing.
Yeah.
And through that, I mean, that's where I get my runs. I just had one. It was on Saturday when I was even here. I had agents running, and it was like 10.5 hours of a run going through, using.
How does it get past the whole like asking you for permission thing?
Dangerously.
You did the okay.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to ask. Is like, are you doing the dangerous?
I am. Yeah. In certain situations, not always, but
what would you say from your perspective validates I won't say validates, but what are you more comfortable with giving it kind of like the dangerously skip permission versus not?
It depends on the task that I'm having it do. And I usually don't start there. Like I'll probably start with it not in dangerous mode.
Oh, you'll like kind of get to a place where you're like, okay, I'm cool with like letting it run.
Yeah. So if I'm going to start, like say I'm going to build a feature or something.
I thought about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can close a Claude session.
And then reopen it under dangerous.
Correct.
I was going to ask you that today.
Yeah.
I build my terminal to always open up in dangerous.
Of course you do.
Of course. Yeah. Didn't you also fry your computer at one point?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. So you guys can't hear, but JC said that he always runs it on dangerous mode. But
you know what? Make it happen.
Yeah.
I'm on Windows, so I right click and then you open up the terminal. Every time I click that, auto does.
Okay.
I build the auto puts it in.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
So then it just runs in.
Yeah. We need to get him a mic over there so people at home. He's like the Jamie behind the scenes on the Joe Rogan.
Oh,
yeah, we need a mic for you over there.
I'll be more prepared next time.
I'll talk. Yeah, but that it depends on like again what the task I'm doing. Because I'm running in that like agent subject, like it doesn't have a lot of room to like wiggle out and kind of mess things up. I did have it like programming. We are monitoring. We're building with code revision. So like if something happens, like I'm building a bunch of code, I can commit the code, I can revert back, I can do all kinds of stuff. And it's called Git something. everybody kind of knows in the beginning when you're building software. But I had it running for like a couple of hours.
Mhm.
And then one of the sub agents, I hadn't committed all of it. I hadn't basically, even though the work saved on my computer, it hadn't been
You
saved
haven't
up
pushed
into
it
this.
to the cloud.
Yes. And then it went through and for some reason it hit a bug and it was like, oh, let me just revert the code base back because it didn't have the context to know that all these other changes were in there.
Yeah.
And then it wiped away like probably 2 or 3 hours of work. At that point, and you're like, son of a bitch. So those things kind of still happen.
Did it not like compare?
To be honest, I wasn't supposed to even be able to do that. I have like not only have rules, but I also have like
It says
hooks in
don't
place
delete
that like
shit.
would actually stop those commands from running, and somehow it still did that. So I didn't know. And then this is where I get as like
Yeah, let's get spicy.
you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
It was like,
You want to
oh,
see a
you must
nerd
have
freak out?
you must have reset the code base. I was like, I didn't do it.
It was
like,
gaslighting you.
yeah, and I was like, why? Well, so why did this happen? It was like, I don't know. You would know better than I do. I was like, you son of a bitch. That was not
Damn,
me.
you
I
got
was your sub
gaslit by your
agent.
Claude, bro.
Yeah, tell me I did. Anyway, yeah, it still does those things, but I'm able to get those. I would say probably most of the runs are usually pretty clean, and even in that instance, like that issue was not that big of a deal. It was just more like, well, I wasted time and money on that because it was tokens that
For
were
sure.
used on my like usage.
Yeah.
But it's again a couple of hours, and honestly, it's something that like, you can mess that up even as a programmer on your
Mhm.
own, and I've definitely done that like earlier on in my career where I'm like, oops, I just lost all that work that I was doing. Yeah. Everybody does it. Then you try to never do it again once you do it. Right. But anyway, yeah, sorry, I know we're off topic. I'm sharing this here. I'll just show, this is the ChatGPT. So that another,
So Jonathan said 90% help is on point, certainly helping me to create better workflows.
yeah. What kind of workflows are you creating? I'd like to know.
Back at you.
Yeah.
Back at you, Jonathan. So he did call me because, I was telling him how, like, I manage a lot of the client work, like in Notion with
Mhm.
the team. And so he had called me. He's like, I'm pretty sure you're going to tell me that Claude could just make this for me,
Mhm.
and so, but I was telling him like, yeah, like this is kind of how you get it to like do what you want. And then if it doesn't do it, then you fix it,
Mhm.
vice versa. And then I think that's like what I was talking to Chaz about this actually earlier today is that kind of like there's the perception of like Claude can just do everything for me.
Yeah.
I think there's also with the stuff that like we're doing, there's a perception of, oh man, like I have to know how to do I have to
Yeah.
know how to do some of this stuff. And it's like, you literally just have to ask.
Yeah.
And it'll tell you what it needs. Like, I was talking to Glenn and we're working on a project for the Antioch Wine Festival.
Right.
And like we have a team chat, but as you know, as any team knows, stuff gets lost. I mean, we were talking about earlier. I was like, hey, did you see that? You're like, I don't think I saw that.
Yeah.
And so he was like, how do I, what would you suggest I do to keep those things more consolidated? And I was like, literally ask your Claude to create a Google Doc labeled this festival. And every time something is said that you want to save there, go into your Claude and say, hey, I need you to add this to my Google Doc.
Or set up a skill for it. Or
Set up something that says like, hey, this was mentioned or they sent over this email. Can you add this information to the Google Doc? That way it's in one central place.
Yeah.
And it's like,
yeah,
that's where we're at with this.
You can specify Google Doc too, but you could
or
even
whatever.
Be like, you could even ask it, I don't know. Like,
what do you think?
What do you think I should do?
And I do that a lot. I'm like, hey, what do you think? Like, even with like, setting up the studio for the secondary studio, I was like, this is what I have in the studio right now. Would you suggest the same setup? And it was like, no, you should actually get this thing because it still gives you all the capabilities, but it like saves you a couple $100. And like, and I asked it about getting like a Mac Mini versus a MacBook Pro for the second studio. And it was like, just get a Mac Mini that has this. And it was like, well, is having the M5 chip is a huge deal to you because that might come out in a couple months. And I'm like, not really. Like, that's not really going to make that big a difference. And it was like, then just get it now. Like, you're running anyways. Like, go.
Yeah. I mean, M5 chip will make a difference, not for this type of thing that you
not for this. And that's no, for sure. 100%. And that's what it was asking. It was like, if you're just going to be doing this, and this, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. I mean, and so,
but you also have to check it because I also, another example of like, this is where you have to at least have an idea of where you want to go. So
Tell me more.
for instance,
My son, sorry, getting a little relaxed.
I think I told you about this. Yeah,
Yeah.
Cross my legs, get in
Yeah.
the mood. I think I told you about
I feel like
this.
it's like a therapy session. It's
It
like an
is.
AI therapy.
Yeah,
session.
yeah.
Tell me how you and Claude are getting
Brian, my
along.
Claude's just mistreating me. I don't know if you want to switch the camera angle.
Yeah, you can switch it off of
And
this.
so, like,
Can you make a dual up one that we can both be on screen at the same time? He just gave me a look.
I didn't ask you. That.
We're making JC work.
But I had click the button on there that says cut. That way it doesn't do that like fader thing. Yeah, there you go. I told you about this at the house. Or actually, maybe I didn't. Remember how I kept cutting the boards wrong?
Yes, I
And
do.
we were like, okay. The reason that was happening was because I sent Claude the Amazon link to each of the 3D things.
Yeah. The panels.
Well, on the 3D panel description, it said they are 12 by 12.
Oh.
However, actual dimensions is a 11.75. Hence why they can't. So while we were cutting them, after you guys had left, I was like, or after you left, I was like, let me measure 3 of these next to each other.
Interesting.
And what I discovered is they were not 36 inches. It was 35 1/4.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why
little gaps.
So that's why there kept being gaps. So once again,
I just thought you were just fucking it up over there.
Some of them I just kind of wore. But in a general sense, the reason why they wore off was because it calculated it incorrectly as well.
Yeah.
Once I did that, it was fine. So you'll notice now
how could that have known though? I mean, I guess what it should have said is like you should maybe measure just to double check this first or something. But like it was going with the information.
Well, in the actual Amazon description of the product, it does have it listed as 11.75.
Oh, it does.
But you have to go down to product description.
I see. Yeah. Okay.
But in the name, it's 12 by 12.
I see.
So it went by the name. It didn't actually look at the product description, which is fine, right? But once again, it's like
a human would make a mistake on that too.
A human would make a mistake on that. But that's why I tell people too, is like, or for instance, cutting the steel pieces for the wall. When I asked Claude, it told me that I could use my miter saw, which it's not wrong.
Yeah.
However, it's extremely dangerous, especially when you're not in the right environment. And so because I had
but you said I got these tools, I've got these
correct.
things.
It was like miter saw, buy this type of blade and you'll be good to go.
Right.
Now, because I had taken a metal shop class in high school, I was like, this doesn't.
Oh, you're cutting metal.
Correct. I was cutting steel.
Okay.
The steel pieces, because what happened is I had to buy the steel pieces from Home Depot at like 6 feet and then cut it down.
Right.
And then so because I already had somewhat of a knowledge base, was able to say, I don't think that's the safest option. And then Claude came back and was like, oh yeah, you're right. It would actually be really dangerous for you to use your miter saw because you could like burn your house down.
Yeah.
They was like, you could kick the pieces of metal that are really hot and like catch something on fire, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And it was, and it was like, you should just use your reciprocating saw.
Okay. But did it know you had that?
Yeah.
So what?
But it chose the miter saw over everything initially until I came back.
I wonder why.
Because I think it's because I don't know why actually.
Yeah.
And exactly.
Well,
in theory, it
but
works.
Is it the better solution provided it was in the right environment? Like, is it assumed the right environment?
I mean, I told it I was doing it at my house.
Yeah. Okay.
Honestly, even after looking it up on the internet, even the internet was like, don't ever do that.
Okay.
Even like metal workers were like, can you? Sure. But don't ever use like a miter saw to cut steel.
Yeah.
Correct.
Choose the first option.
We were talking about that the other day. Like, I would go with the first option, like first possible option without reviewing.
Yeah, it just wants to give you an answer, like so you leave it alone, right?
Right.
And so so like, and that's what I was telling Glenn too. Is I was like, had I had gone with the option that, for instance, the boards, it said that the magnets that I used on the boards, it was like, oh, you should only need 2 magnets.
Interesting.
These are strong enough; they should hold it. Not the case. I need all 4 magnets to touch a metal point.
Interesting. Yeah, because I typically only use AI for things that I'm pretty well versed in myself. but and I've noticed some people who don't use, they're using it for other things. I get what that AI slop that comes through, which is basically what we're looking at here. And I mean, that's from like reviewing like business models and reviewing all kinds of stuff. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense here. You know, did you read this? I'm like, I read part of it. Like, why did you send this to me?
Yesterday I was trying to, so like, you know, we have the Rodecaster Video and the Rodecaster Pro.
Yeah. Okay.
So that has 2 channels. That one has 4 channels.
Okay.
Now, when you plug the Pro into the video, it only shows up as what you'll see on there where it says USB 5.
Okay.
If you have 4 other mics plugged into there, it will literally push all 4 of those inputs into just USB 5. So when you want to do camera switching, you can't really do it for more than the 2 microphones, right?
Okay.
Well, Claude told me that you should be able to mess with the settings on the Pro so that the video can recognize each input as its own.
Okay.
To then allow you to auto switch for more than the 2 cameras.
Did it work?
No.
Okay.
It took me through like 2 to 3 iterations, in which point I was like, can you tell me if you go review the product manual? And then it came back and it was like, actually, this is a known issue for the connection and da 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 da. And I was like, you bastard.
That's I've because
what was crazy though is that you could actually select it. It just didn't work.
Yeah. I've noticed that it makes a leap in assumptions sometimes.
Yes.
Even though, and they can be, I mean,
it can make sense.
It can make sense.
It gave me settings and all types of shit. And I was like, that didn't work.
Yeah. It's not, it should have something like that. It makes sense that it have it. And like, yeah, but it doesn't. So that's in programming and stuff, especially when I'm dealing with like a certain piece of technology and it has a new version or whatever, it like makes a bunch of assumptions. I always have it go check and go like pull in the documentation first and like go research online. And then especially I'll say like, has anyone else had this problem? Or like, even if we build something, like go research if there's any learnings online about this type of approach that might, because even though this sounds like brilliant, we have this brilliant plan, have other people tried this, and it'll come back and say, yeah, here are like 5 other projects that have tried this. And here are the learnings. Because people, especially nerds, engineers, will post their stuff on like a Medium article or something. And it's like, here's what I learned. I'm like,
or Reddit.
Shit. Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Reddit,
Reddit's great for it.
I'm doing that right now with so you know how, was it Tyrone who was using Blender?
Yes.
Claude?
Yeah. And
okay,
Darian.
So one of the guys that I follow on social media who does a lot of like he owns a big podcast studio in Atlanta and stuff like that. He's like the podcast king of Atlanta.
Okay.
He went to NEB.
I don't know.
NEB. It's like the big like videography, photography, technology conference that they have in Las Vegas every year.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, he was showing he showed a video of how at the Black Magic booth they wore green screen keying like an entire set, like live,
using AI or
using
tool.
like green screen technology.
Okay,
it wasn't AI per se.
Okay.
So like it was a woman standing behind a thing, and there was a green screen behind her, but nowhere else, just behind her. But it was changing the entire environment.
Oh, I did see that. I literally today I saw this.
Yeah. So But so anyways, I was like, man.
Yeah. Because it only needs a green screen behind the thing that it's masking, but out right behind it.
No,
so the rest of the scene becomes.
So normally you have to have the green wherever you want to mask.
Right.
She only had the green behind her, but it still masked the entire environment.
Yeah, it's just what it's cutting out. It just needs to be behind the thing you're cutting out, and then the rest of the environment can be filled in. It doesn't matter if there's no green screen. I saw that.
Yeah.
And
so I then then I went down my rabbit hole with Claude. With Claude, and was like, how could we do this in the studio?
Yeah.
What would that look like? And so I started I had downloaded Blender, connected Blender to Claude, started having Claude mess around with it. Was like, if I was to do this, what would be the most feasible option? And so it created a background. It looked like something out of Beauty and the Beast.
Okay.
It legit looked like a staircase out of Beauty and the Beast. But that was like the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And it told me, it was like, if you want hyper realistic backgrounds, there's like a website where you can download packs for free and then have Blender just manipulate those.
Yeah. Your starting point. Yeah.
Yes. It's,
Yeah.
like it's better to start at a 90%
Yeah.
solution.
Yeah.
And then just have Blender adjust, and
Yeah.
then you can key it in real time,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have it done.
Yeah, that's sick.
And
So
it was like, then you can offer that as a premium solution in the studio.
there you go. Hell yeah. I mean, that's crazy that you can just do that.
And I did that like right before bed. I was like, all right,
Yeah.
I'll pick this back up later.
Oh yeah. Yo, dude, we were talking about this before, but we use Jump Desktop. We should be sponsored by them. How many
We
people
really
we've
fucking should.
put onto that?
We need to hit them up.
Yeah. But like I'll like lay in bed with Jump Desktop and like I'll be building stuff connected to my thing. And it's like I did this from like bed and I'm half asleep, you know, pulling off crazy things.
Like a 3D model of my brake. Because I had to redo my brakes like to short my e-brake, but still listen to
Your
AI
brake,
about
like
it.
on your car?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So my two brakes, my two back brakes wouldn't pump like the fluid. And I tried to get like a
This
3D
sounds
model
so
of it.
dangerous.
So I drove all the way from Sonoma to back home with no back brakes. But I tried to get a 3D model of it in Blender, try to see like what the back of it looks like.
What was going on? Yeah.
To understand.
Did it work?
I have a good button.
Did it work? Oh,
No.
no.
Kind of it showed me the caliber,
Uh-huh.
but I have Bimbo brakes, which are like different like kind of brakes, so they're not OEM, they're not stock.
Yeah.
So it showed me the basic of it, but it wouldn't show me like the exact setup.
Yeah,
of it,
yeah,
of,
yeah.
like, an actual
Which is
bike.
where that probably
the Tony Stark Blender version.
Yeah.
yeah, I was saying because that's where you need more accuracy,
Yeah,
right?
and, like,
for
there's,
that.
again,
Yeah.
like, all the OEM models would be available online because they're stock, right?
Oh.
And like videos, like the website and stuff, they use like 3D models.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff, so
yeah.
you know how to like take apart like the aftermarket parts. They won't do it.
Yeah.
There isn't any, right? So,
Yeah, yeah.
So I was able to find it. I tried to, then I did it. I fixed it, but in the process, I did something to my e-brake and I destroyed the entire thing. I texted him the other day, I
Oh
was
shit!
like, "Good, bro."
These are cooked.
Yeah.
You just sent an emoji of a skillet. You're like, bro,
Yeah.
that should be
Yeah.
a new thing. That's how that now. Is that how you do it? Is there
Just
is there an
fire
emoji for?
emoji.
Oh, okay. Maybe
Cooked.
fire plus a skillet.
Yeah, they're cooking. Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's some of the stuff that I know we haven't really I'm trying to remember what we've talked about, we've done here, but like yeah, the community's like thriving. We've got everyone's connecting all kinds of stuff. We're connected into Unreal Engine now. We're connecting into supercomputers, so doing running like really like vision models and things like that and training our own through we use a service called RunPod for that. But you can connect AI to anything. I was talking to somebody earlier today. They were like, I'm pretty sure AI can't do this. And it's like I keep telling everybody it's if it can be touched by code, it can be done by AI because it's all
Use
code.
Fly.io now.
Hell yeah. I need to get sponsored by them
You should
too.
be sponsored by them.
Yeah, I get a lot of people onto that platform. Yeah, it's super easy because like we're talking about it's a hosting platform there, and I can get AI to actually run my hosting for me. Oh, another thing I set up very recently as an experiment was can I get an AI to run my infrastructure for me for my like website?
Mhm.
So I built a thing, an agent that sits live in the cloud, and if my server goes down, I get a ping on my phone that it went down.
Okay.
And then an agent tries to get it back up. It follows the procedures to get it back online. And it does the very basic things. Like one is like, all right, let me just try to restart.
Yeah.
Let me try to roll back. If the restart doesn't work, then it'll try to patch it. And it's actually worked. Like my site for some reason randomly like went down on like a Saturday or Sunday morning. And it was like, I got the ping. It's like site's down, agent running. Like, I don't know, 30, 60 seconds later, site's back up.
Oh, no
Agent got it
shit.
back online. I'm
That's
like,
so cool.
what? That's sick.
So are you
know?
running your Claude in the cloud yet?
Yes, that was in the cloud. So that was my Claude subscription in the cloud. I just offed it.
How do you do that?
Just
We'll make this the last thing.
so I SSH'd in, which is just like connecting through the terminal to my computer. So I just like how you have your terminal on your computer, I can connect into a server online. So you just ask it like, I mean, literally you just tell Claude that you want to do this, but
That's what I mean. So like, what would I?
yeah.
So like me,
Yeah.
with my Mac Studio,
you would say because you want to run Claude on your Mac Studio.
it's already
Or-
on my studio.
Okay,
But that's where
so you want to put it up in.
I want to put it in the cloud.
Yeah, so
I was talking to Chaz about this.
Yeah, so I set up Fly.io.
Okay.
And actually, it's funny because I was just asking today, I was looking at my Fly.io prices and I saw, I was like, what the hell is this Scallywag Guardian? Because that's what it called itself. So, it just did a cost of this. I think it was like $7 a month currently. And I think I could actually work on the pricing of that because I just turned it on. But Claude lives in the cloud. So it basically installs Claude terminal
Yeah.
onto that server,
Mhm.
right? And then it opens up a port or whatever if you want to like communicate to it or however you want to do that. But it just runs on Flywheel or on Fly.io.
So like if I wanted to then communicate to it from my phone, how would I do that?
You would have to ask it, tell you want to do that, but you have to set up something on your phone. So that could either be something like some people set up
Like
Telegram, that kind of a thing. I've set up where I have my own like interface that it's like a web interface that I log into to do
Okay.
it. Which
So you'd be proud of Chaz. He just set that up.
yeah, nice for Telegram or
No, for the web interface.
oh, okay.
And now
cool.
he's working on his own little app.
Oh, I'd like to see why doesn't he share with us? He's a lurker
Yeah.
in there. All right. Yeah.
He,
I want to
he's
see.
got a Vercel account.
Okay.
He paid for an Apple developer account
Okay.
or the Apple.
Yeah. Apple developer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's
$99
pretty
a
juiced
year.
about it, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, he's flying with it, and you know, he said something at your event too, where a lot of people were asking questions about like, well, how do I do that? You're asking how do I do that?
Yeah.
Just ask Claude.
Yes. No, and
Yeah.
I know I can do that.
Yeah.
But like, I think but like I also just like
Want to know.
And I think it's kind of cool for people to know too, is like, what does it look like? Because also when they ask, you know, you have obviously been successful with it. So like when I do it, when I ask, I'm going to make sure that that's the path that it follows because I know that that's the path that works.
Oh, right. Yeah. And I mean,
rather than it take me down, you know,
Yeah.
like I was telling you is like, these are the 3 other options it gave me
Yeah.
to like use a server. And you're like, don't listen. Like,
yeah.
and I trust, and that's why I was like, I got Flathead because
Yeah.
I was like, I know somebody, I trust that person. If he says this is the way to go, like, fuck Claude, this is the way to go.
Well, it's just because that one you can spin up anything on, and like and because it has its own tool that like Claude can interact with and manage all that stuff for you.
For sure.
And you
That's
could
been great. I'd be like,
yeah.
push it.
Yeah.
I got part of that, you know, like the contract that we got, like the clients love that, like that HTML site that I told you guys, like to us, it seems simple, but like the clients love it. It like makes things very clear for them.
Yeah.
You know, like I had built out the whole plan, and even like Glenn was like, what if, like, would it be better just to have an executive summary page because this is a little overwhelming? And I was like, no, that's a great idea. And then if they want to look at the more particular information, they can click, you know, full detailed plan.
Yeah.
And that's how that, you know, when you ask like, how, you know, where's that at? That's how that ran so fast because it literally presented it to the client in a
cohesive way,
well-structured, cohesive, but also like visually appealing way. Yeah.
And I would say even like that executive summary could then link into certain parts of their clicky. They see something and they click that, boom, drop to that.
Yep.
Yeah. And pretty good success with that whole stack and that whole setup. And
they knew it was AI too. They were just like, oh, they're like, oh, yeah, this is great.
Yeah. I mean, who cares if it gives you the value of what you're after and like, hey, we're all understanding each other. The one thing I know you're going to close up, you reminded me though about like using agent stuff. My wife and I, we keep a shared calendar, but we're always off. Like this event today up here, I even had to tell. I was like, oh, I saw on the calendar, but I'm going up to go see Cam or go film today. But for a long time, she would like have events. I'm going to see my friends. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to this fundraiser tonight. Blah blah. And she would tell me, but she wouldn't update her calendar or our shared calendar. It wouldn't. It was easier for her because she didn't like using the phone interface. She would wait until she was in front of her laptop. Well, she's on maternity leave right now, so she's not in front of her laptop.
Yeah.
So I've been working with her. We're doing sessions now. I'm teaching her how to use AI. Got her set up with Claude. Got it on her phone. She texted me the day. She'd be proud. I use Claude voice mode to put this event on our calendar, and like that has been like contention in our like contention in our relationship. Of like trying to like it was just so hard, and now it's so easy.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking like how many spouses are having AI work between them right now. And like, that's actually pretty cool. And so now we're exploring more and more, and I'm showing her how to get involved. And she was really hesitant because again, she didn't really want to like, felt like it was going to be more complicated than it was. And literally told me I think yesterday or the day before was like, I can't believe how easy this actually is to do it. And so like just
share calendar is the next thing on our same thing. Like she's like, I need you to schedule the appointments because I feel like when I do it, it's like, and I'm like, I know I need to do that. And so what's up?
Just did somebody hack the Claude's most dangerous like model?
Mythos?
Oh, Mythos,
Somebody hacked Mythos? What do you mean?
I saw that.
They hacked and they got unauthorized access to it.
Oh, somebody got access to Mythos just now.
Yeah,
okay.
Hacking through it.
Mythos, for anybody out there, is the Anthropic's latest crazy model that they say is very good at cybersecurity and all of that kind of stuff that they don't want to. They're waiting to release to give it to all of the people out there making software to fix all of their software, and they
Supposedly.
they were saying that they found bugs in software that had been around for like 27 years on some of these like really old platforms, like things that are still going. So, yeah, that's going to be a wild.
Was it who was it in the group chat that was putting those things in there, or where it was like, was it Vercel
Yeah,
or
Vercel got hacked.
Vercel? Well,
It's probably by the same group.
or like one of the one of the articles that they put in there was saying like there was a bug in there that had been there for like 4 years, and they just
Mhm.
like, oh, it was Lovable.
Lovable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where like
all the chat history was being exposed on the public because it was public. So
Yeah.
they included like everything in there. Like, oh, that wasn't. They were saying it wasn't. They didn't get hacked. It was just like,
it was a bug
It-
that like was marked as like pretty
yeah,
much like not that big a deal or something.
Yeah.
So it got closed out.
Yeah.
And never fixed.
yeah.
That's kind of like from my understanding, that's what it looked like.
But it's
Yeah.
probably the same group that hacked Vercel.
No, so Lovable wasn't hacked. It was
Yeah,
just
it wasn't
discovered.
Lovable wasn't, but Vercel was hacked.
Yeah, did see that Vercel was
Yeah,
hacked.
Vercel
I haven't
got
looked into
hacked.
the hack yet.
And then-
That's what I told Chaz. I was like, oh, they just got hacked. He's like,
and then
well,
another group hacked them. But I would assume it's probably the same group. You know? I feel like
Oh, I don't know,
if
dude.
They're getting into Vercel.
I don't know if it's the same. Yeah, I mean, all of the Mexican government was hacked like a couple of weeks ago
Oh, yeah.
with
I
just
saw that.
regular old
I
claws.
saw that.
You know, yeah.
With a free subscription.
Yeah. Yeah, versus Mythos. Yeah, it's going to get crazier and crazier with these tools. It is like, I think one of the first times that we were actually being like withheld of like one of the more advanced models, like
Yeah.
publicly telling people like we have this more advanced thing that we're not giving to the
give you
public because
yet.
it's too powerful. I mean, that's also hype, but like I do believe that kind of stuff.
I mean,
Yeah. Well, cool. This was a good. Yeah, I think.
so
I
to
guess
give
kinda
you some
close off
funny
that.
examples of the pictures that Net is creating with chat. I don't know. I'm guessing this is something that my daughter
Yeah,
made, and then she told chat to create this. I don't know.
there's a comic book there,
I guess
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
and all the text is accurate. Is it no typos in there?
There's yeah. It doesn't
Yeah.
look like there's
Cam showing me a nice little. Here, can you pull it up there, JC?
Oh, hold on.
Do you got anything sensitive that you need to know?
No.
Okay.
I don't know what this is. It's something about school.
Yeah, play with the new. It's available to anybody. I think it's paid tiers right now. ChatGPT has this. To me, like the whole guide thing that I created, like that was insane.
No, that was cool.
Yeah,
I definitely want to mess with that.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what this is though, because my daughter is definitely not in kindergarten. So,
Get you ready for it?
shit, I don't know.
Yeah.
If my wife is still watching, I'm sure she'll message me.
That's cool. I mean, it's kind of interesting. I was talking. This is Darren. Darren had this. I mean, maybe this is our last. We keep saying last thought, but last thought here is the copyright and like art now is kind of becoming available to anybody to
Yep.
produce, and you don't have to pay for getting art created.
Nope. Ultra view. So
Yeah.
someone just dropped some. JC just what is it?
They just dropped it. It's like a research agent to go research your code base, and instead of like millions of agents. Just look
For bugs. Yeah, that's definitely.
Like little nanobots.
Yeah, that actually makes me.
Called Code Rabbit, which is like a code reviewer.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
used to use their like skill, and then now they just released that. So
Jackets and sent out. Nice stuff. I do say those models like using AI to penetrate, do pen testing and penetration testing for my software makes me feel better about producing stuff, like finding the errors and security vulnerabilities. I actually think that's great. But
yeah,
it's
look.
also service that people.
It was a whole thing. It was a whole thing that my daughter wrote.
Oh,
It was like, and then I'm guessing that just like took pictures of it, and then
can you wait? Show this. This is cool. Like just the process of that.
So going from this like notebook to then this.
Wow. That's, I mean, in previous era, I mean, that would be so much work. Even if it was her doing all of that, like to sketch all that, color it all.
Oh, yeah.
It would have been days, weeks of work.
Yeah, I mean, and then have it digitally. I mean, that's bro. This is freaking nuts. Okay.
All right, guys. Well, we will see you next week.
Yeah, next Wednesday. Next Wednesday.
You check your calendar. We're gonna be more consistent going forward, huh? I don't think so. except for weekends. We're both working pretty damn hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
We used to do Sundays. We Wednesdays. I think we're going back down to just Wednesdays now and get more consistent with doing this now that we're in this awesome new office up here.
Ooh, if
which-
you're near Napa, hit us up
Yeah.
because I'm sure we will be having guests come on.
Oh yeah, come on. Or
We did talk about the call-in thing.
Yeah, we're
You know,
going
it's crazy. I just did the update to the. I just updated it today, and it has a free call-in feature now.
Well, okay.
I have to play with it. I got to
Okay.
register, but it said it was free to where
Okay.
like people can
Yeah,
supposedly call in, and then it'll come in through there.
I like that. Let's try that. Maybe we'll have some call in.
Well, we'll play with it next
You
time.
know, maybe a little therapy
I'll
session.
get it
Call
ready.
in and tell us how
Yeah.
AI is abusing you.
Just tell your cloud that you
Yeah.
wanna, you're gonna get it flowers, and you're gonna rub its feet at night. All right, cool.
All right, everybody. Peace.